In the battle to beat the Love Boat, you've got to compete with the Love Boat, but the dumbest thing you can do is just try to copy the Love Boat. This is 1979 Supertrain. Supertrain was perhaps the most expensive series created up until that time, and a phenomenal flop that only aired for approximately 3 months. There's like, I don't know, 9 or 10 episodes out there you can still find on YouTube because nobody's got them. YouTube, I just finished the pilot episode, Express to Terror, which is absolutely terrifying and horrifying. I rarely say this because I hate the way that all the reboots and reimaginings are done, so woke these days. But Supertrain is a concept in desperate need of being redone. They spent a fortune on sets, and the idea of the Supertrain crossing the continental United States in 36 hours from essentially New York to LA, from the east, New England, all the way to the west coast, and having all these luxury items on it, like the Love Boat, and various normal stops across the continent so that you could have interaction with locals. Very much just a Love Boat, but they put so much into the technology of the train, making it atomic powered. It can go a few hundred miles per hour at a time when that was a phenomenal amount of speed. You could easily redo this, especially when you look at what China and others have looked at doing with under the ocean bullet trains, and the technology to update this to a train that goes around the world today and redo this would just make so much sense. It's a great concept, and it's very beautiful in the scenery and settings, especially for 1979. That being said, everything else about it stinks. The plot of the pilot episode sort of barely even comes together. On one hand, you have an abusive relationship. This woman is being emotionally, psychologically, and physically beaten down by this man who is so abrasive that you feel it. And it's got a level of drama to it that you don't expect from this, but it's very uneven compared to the other guests on the train, the weird, nonsensical Hollywood story where one of our protagonists is supposed to prevent another one from getting drunk and blowing a deal. And you're like, why is this his responsibility? Weird things that never actually become clear, like why that dude owes money to someone that may or may not be trying to kill him. And then finally they, of course, because they overlap like the Love Boat, it kind of comes together. But it's so uneven between the good-humored parts and the abuse part. It's just really abrasively bouncing you back and forth between these things. But biggest of all, they literally took the idea of the Love Boat and thought, we'll translate it to the Love Train. It'll be Supertrain. And it is a little bit grittier than Love Boat, at least the way that it's so unevenly, the abuse and stuff. But they basically took the concept and applied it to a different mode of transportation. Had they made it different enough in the way it felt, it could have worked. Or interesting enough characters. But they literally, all of the main cast that we meet in the pilot that are clearly at least intended to be recurring people are literal ripoffs of the Love Boat. So the old man that's in charge of the whole project sort of takes the place of the captain. His granddaughter is sort of Julie, but it becomes sort of the older version of the captain's daughter as well by being the granddaughter. So it's just a mixture of two characters from the Love Boat together. And we have a Gopher and we have an Isaac, and they have the same dynamic, and one is white and one is black, exactly like the Love Boat. So it ends up being, you scratch your head and are like, but there is so much potential there to do something like it. I mean, you could translate this out to they used to say Star Trek, The Next Generation was the Love Boat in space sometimes. You could do something like that with a spaceship, a cruise liner in space. You could make it more contemporary and make it a super train that runs underwater or around the whole globe, or so many things you could do with it. But they build all these sets, build all this money into a budget to build this thing up. And then the writing is so bad, the characters are just pale ripoffs of the other show. No wonder Supertrain does this super bomb. So you can find it on YouTube. Check it out. Let me know what you think. I didn't even know it was so badly received in '79. I never knew it existed growing up as someone that watched The Love Boat as a kid. So I didn't even know there was such a thing as Supertrain until a few days ago. Found it on YouTube. Check it out. Let me know what you think.